It's the Villains Talk Show. Ooh. With Sara, Vike, C4, Insanieac, Sir Jeremy, and the Great Grease Goblin.
Ooh.
Also, we have a special guest. Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Oh.
Sorry, was I supposed to talk there?
No, I'm talking to myself. It's
Sorry,
just,
He does that regularly.
can people hear me?
Yes.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. For some reason, the program updated and it doesn't tell me if my mic's working. Anyway, hello and welcome, everybody, to the Villains Talk Show. I, the one I'm talking, MC4. As always, I am joined with Sara, Vike, the Great Grease Goblin, Insanieac, and Sir Jeremy. And we're the Villains Talk Show podcast. You know the deal by now. Every month, Wednesday and Sunday we do shows. We upload podcasts every Tuesday and Thursday. That jazzy junk. And today we have a special guest. As you can see in the top right corner, it says the meat. That's all I could fit. It was supposed to say the meat man.
Meat is here.
Honestly, the meat is perfect.
The meat, perfect. And who the meat is? The meat is an artist. I have a link. I've just got to put up the link in the chat so you can all concede the link. He's an artist and music creator. I'll let him introduce himself in a second. But his art is insanity. Some of us have checked out his music. Some of us have checked out his art. And yeah, we're going to do our usual have a half discussion interview and just say a bunch of random things and then put it on the internet kind of thing.
That's about what we normally do.
Yep. So take it away, Mr. Meat. Mr.
Hi, I am
Tell
the
us
meat.
about the meat.
Yes, you are the meat. Yeah. Talk about your art and stuff while I find the goddamn link and make it look like I had this planned.
I do make art and stuff, sometimes at the same time.
Nice.
Ooh.
Specialist we have here.
The specialist.
Yeah, it doesn't work most of the time because usually I end up just getting nothing done.
Oh, we know.
I've been there. I feel that one.
Too many
Oh, yeah.
projects, and I just get all, too much. No thanks. I'm going to go sit and watch Netflix.
We have an entire episode on procrastination if you need help and motivation. Like an entire episode on it.
Those are two things that I struggle with very deeply.
I think we talk about how we do too.
Am I too quiet? I don't know.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm sorry.
You
Okay,
sound
cool.
great.
I don't have any fancy audio equipment. I'm just sitting here on my phone.
Hey, that works.
Nice. It sounds actually pretty good compared to some of the other guests we've had with actual audio equipment. So
True. Yeah.
we'll take that.
Very true.
Well, you're in luck. I have Wi-Fi now. So
Wi-Fi helps.
Wow. Wi-Fi.
I went like a year and a half without Wi-Fi. So
I'm not going to have Wi-Fi all summer, so it's going to be fun.
this is why I use Freedom, because I can just connect to the Shaw mobile hotspots.
Smart.
That's what I got through like a year and a half, was just using mobile hotspot by my house.
I know some people that go their entire lives or like go their entire year just using Starbucks Wi-Fi. They live near a Starbucks and they'll just go to a Starbucks and just use their Wi-Fi. Spend all day there.
I went to the bar once just to use their Wi-Fi.
I think we've all done that. I think we've all like just gone to a certain place where we know free Wi-Fi is, like a Tim Hortons, and just didn't even buy a coffee. Just sit in the corner and just like look around, and just use the Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
Well, I needed it to fill out like background check stuff for my job, and so I just went to the bar.
This isn't sketchy at all. I'm gonna do my background check at the bar.
Yeah, I had lunch. It was good.
That's good. So,
Yeah.
talking about your art, what did you start with? music or visual art? Because like I checked out most of your visual art on Facebook. I completely encourage anyone to check out his art. It's
Very cool.
you know what it gives me? Have you ever seen, you must have seen those old 80s style posters, like the contrast, the purple blues and the high radiation, like the high neon colors,
like kind of like a retro wave.
yeah. Then I love that kind of art. So as I was scrolling through, I'm like, damn, man. And you're like, just, I love your coloring. I love the entire, like, I was looking at some of your earlier work, your line work, and man, do you want to design a tattoo for me? Because like, damn, I love your art. I absolutely love it.
Oh, thank you.
I was scrolling through it too, and I love how colorful it is. It's so bright and vibrant, and it just makes me excited to look at.
But yeah,
like, for a very long time, I actually didn't do a lot of the bright colors because there's a lot of people who, there's this whole thing going on where people say, oh, bright colors are bad, don't do that. And I was like, okay, art rules. And then like a couple of years ago, I just said, fuck it, I don't care about these dumb rules. I'm going to make everyone's eyes burn.
I believe it was Andy Warhol that said the art rules are made so you know what to break or something like that. Or there's only rules in art so you know what hasn't been done.
I mean, I've heard varieties of that, but not exactly.
Something like that. That's how Andy Warhol came up with his Campbell's painting.
It's somewhere along the lines of the rules are made to be broken.
Yeah.
Which is definitely 100% true.
Learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist.
That's
exactly.
And that's Pablo Picasso.
That's Picasso. Thank you. Thank you.
That is a great quote.
That is a great quote.
So,
I'm going to forget it immediately.
Then write it down. Here, no. You know what? I'll write it down in the Discord for you. I will put it in the Discord.
I'm gonna make
yes, please do that because I already forgot it.
But I would love you. Sorry. But what did you start with? Did you start making music? Did you start making art? Where did your passions lie? Because I sing. I've been the singer. I've been a professional singer since I was like, I was started trained when I was 6 years old. And I basically have been doing opera and classical singing my whole life. And I am horrible at drawing. And I mean, like, the only art I'm good at is like pottery because I'm good with my hands, but I sing. So I'm just wondering with someone who makes such like good techno music and art, I wanted to know where did your creativity start, or did it both kind of flourish at the same time?
Yeah, it's hard to tell because I kind of started both around the same time. Like I know I started drawing when I was probably in the 3rd or the 4th grade, and then in the 4th grade we had this project in music class where we had to create a project in GarageBand on the Macs, and this was like my first time ever using a Mac.
I remember
And we did it in partners, and our project was probably the worst sounding thing I've ever heard. We
You guys had
pulled
Mac
a
computers?
bunch of random Apple loops that we liked and put them together, and it sounded like
Man, I had that
a
on my
computer
school, too.
having a stroke. But it was very entertaining to do, and so a couple of years later, my dad got an iMac in the basement, and that was, I spent so much time just screwing around on that one.
Yeah, my school had something very similar, and then I got very into GarageBand for a while for that, just because of that project.
And then I actually didn't switch to Logic, which is basically the professional version of GarageBand, until a couple of years ago.
How old are you, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
Early mid-20s.
Ah, I know that exact age because that's exactly what I would say at that age. Yes,
That's what I would say.
yeah, early mid-20s is I know that exact one. Oh, so you're still young, man. You're good. Like,
Yeah.
so
I feel like I'm very behind, so that's good to hear because I feel like I'm very behind.
I feel like a lot of things kind of start out that way when you're trying to make like a name brand or some kind of thing for yourself.
Yeah,
It always kind of feels like you're running against like some kind of clock that I would say is not really there.
and
Because
it's
I felt
very
like that with my videos sometimes.
it's very rare people are like actually get big or start making money in their early teens and early 20s. You usually hear about people starting to make or starting to actually put effort in, usually late 20s, early 30s. Like it's just kind of the way it spins. But then again, you never know. But yeah, no. So let's kind of shift to your music a bit, because you mentioned just before the stream that one of your favorite shows in that's happened in our city is Infected Mushroom, who is
yeah. So
who's an Israeli band that's like super close to my heart. I've been to 3 of their shows here in this city. I love Infected Mushroom.
yeah, I was supposed to go to the Netherlands for DEF CON 1 festival. I've been wanting to go for like 8 years now, and of course, the year that I buy my ticket, 2 weeks later, everything shut down because of a global pandemic.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That actually hurts me a little. That would be so much fun.
Fortunately, I didn't have to fight airlines for my money back, mainly because I'm more of a habitual last-minute flight booker.
That helps.
Yeah, I mean, it's been working for me so far, so why change the formula now? I still have the show tickets though, so that's good. I can go. Hopefully, they're going to be up and running next year. They're going to be doing a 4-day long instead of the regular 3 days.
Just because we both like Infected Mushroom, do you prefer the band or the DJs?
I have no preference. I just like the music.
Oh, okay. Just so you know, Infected Mushroom, the 2 guys who do it, there's 2 different kinds of concerts they do. So they always tour twice. There's the tour.
Okay.
There's the
That's
tour
just-
where it's just them. It's just the 2 DJs and they DJ and stuff. And, it's like a techno concert. Or they'll hire 3 other guys, a drummer, a synthesizer guy, and a guitar player, and they will play all their songs using instruments.
That is really cool. Well,
It is.
I've only
The bassist
I've only
can play
seen the
with his
DJ,
tongue.
so
If you're lucky, I hope that when you see them, you see the band. The band is so good because you still got the Doom Shrooms, but it feels like a rock concert, but it's all techno, and it's very impressive.
yeah, that sounds really cool.
I grew up with Daft Punk. That was the techno music that I grew up with. DJ Tiesto, Benny Benassi, the oldies.
Yeah,
The
I
classics.
definitely like. I grew up listening to like Deadmau5. That was kind of my biggest introduction to like dance music was Deadmau5. And then, actually, in an IMVU chat room, I discovered jump style, and then from there I found hard style, and then I've been kind of on that train for the last 10 years.
Have you heard Scooter?
Yeah, I've heard some of
Oh
his
my
stuff. I'm
God.
not too familiar with a lot of his music.
I love Scooter.
We are so old, Jeremy.
Yeah, so Scooter just toured in 2016.
We're so old. Scooter.
I've
Yeah,
definitely
he
heard
still
some of
tours.
it. I'm not super familiar with it. I'm more familiar with like earlier Headhunters and Noise Control.
Okay.
Oh, Boston Rom? Like
Yeah.
oh. I grew up with hardstyle as a kid. Like, when I grew, like I was a teenager about 2007, 2014. So all the hardstyle I was getting was like straight German hardstyle, like I said, like Boston Rom. You got some DJ Insomnia in there. Like it was it was a lot of fun. It was the basics of dance music, if I remember. And then you get like, and then dubstep was starting. But how did you find your sound? Because there's so many different kinds of techno. Oh my god.
Honestly, I'm still kind of looking for it. I'm still kind of just experimenting. I really like the kind of 80s basses as well, so I like to add some elements of like synthwave, retro wave into what I do. And I'm trying to figure, I would love to find a way to include elements of industrial metal into it as well.
Oh my god, do I have a mix for you? Yeah, do I have a mix
If
for
I
you?
could just figure out how to do those vocals and then how to record it without chickening out every single time.
Okay, so like I said, I'm so up, and you mentioned vocals. I have a buddy. He's actually been on the stream. He's been a guest on with us before. He does metal vocals. That's what he does. He's been trying to start a death metal band his whole life, and I'm sure if I got him in contact with you, he'd be more than happy to do vocals for you. And it's
That'd be a very interesting duo to see.
He does
hard style death metal duo.
It's funny because his two kinds of music is he makes sometimes like trance. He loves trance, but he also loves really, really dark death metal. That's what he sings. So I think that would be a cool mashup. I will definitely get you in contact with him. That would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be really cool to see what happens. So
have you ever collabed with other artists? I know in my musical career, it just kind of happens where all of a sudden you'll meet an artist and be like, hey, let's do something together. But what about you, like in terms of your music or even your art?
Have I collaborated with any artists? No, I don't think so. At least not with music. I've done a couple of collaborations in like illustration, but that was easily 6 or 7 years ago.
Wow. That's actually, so when you were in your teens, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it was nothing like crazy. It was just like, hey, friends on the internet and just, hey, let's do a collaborative drawing. Okay. I'll make the lines, you color it. Cool. Call it done.
I mean, and that's just how it starts, man. Like I used to do that with man, every year, obviously not last year, there is a kind of exclusive music party that happens in Sunnyside, where the owner of the Calgary Philharmonic has like this backyard party for all the local musicians, and you just kind of show up and sing or play your music and play a song. And I've been going to it for years. And it's just one of those things where you just you go to stuff and you just collab with people and you build connections, and you'd be surprised because people remember. Like you'll meet someone like you haven't seen in 8 years or like 5 years, and they'll be like, "Hey, blah blah blah," and you're like, "Yeah, totally." It's funny how it works that way, man. Connections.
Yeah, definitely. I've asked people if they want to collaborate before, and I don't know how to approach these kinds of things, so I just usually they're like, hey, I want to collab, and they're like, okay, do you have any ideas? And I'm like, nope, I have no clue. I was hoping that was something we were going to figure out together.
Yeah, I find kind of asking people, it's kind of getting past that little like nervous hurdle, you know, breaking out that shell.
Because the one person that I asked is a friend of mine who is in Texas, and I was like, hey, how would you feel about a collab? And he asked me if I had any kind of ideas, and I just kind of went, not really. I was hoping that's kind of something we were going to figure out together. But he's really busy, so I totally understand.
Yeah, that's the hard part too with collabing, is trying to set up schedules and stuff so that way you can fit in a work time. We know that all too well with D&D games.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember those days.
So
that's how our talk show started. Inspiration behind D&D.
just to get into some of the meat of your art. I just had
Was
some
that a pun?
Yeah, actually it was. So thank you for catching it. My co-hosts always seem to miss my puns.
Yeah, well, maybe
There's
we-
three
um,
more than
I
Yeah,
think some of us
exactly.
can aim better, I guess, on puns than.
I noticed you have as I keep looking through your art, one thing I've noticed is you have a real sense of style with what's it called? You're very visceral. I love the detail you put into. I mean, like you have melting faces, kind of like cybercorpse. I don't know how to say it. It looks like a
Yeah,
mix of cyberpunk and undead.
The inspiration is very cool. It's very different. Like it's
That-
very,
and that's what I want.
Alice in Wonderland meets like some kind of like dark grim.
That's
kind of-
exactly where I was getting at. That's what I was going to ask. Like, where does your inspiration come from for your art?
That's a lot of things. I listen to a lot of music, obviously, so I pull a lot of inspiration from that. And I have a very wide collection of animated GIFs on my phone that I like to look at, and sometimes I'll pull some ideas from there. A lot of the time, I get ideas. I see things when I'm meditating, or I get ideas when I'm under the influence of certain things.
Yeah, no
all
drugs.
partaking of the-
We've
of
talked
the
about our
culture.
drug use. I've done every drug under the sun. Don't even need. We're artists here.
We're not sensitive about it. We
We're all-
understand.
We're all depressed on the inside. We all know.
Cops might be listening, dude.
The cops
can't
don't
let
know
them
your
know.
name. They know you as the meat. You're fine.
Yeah, the meat.
I'm the only one with anything even approaching a real name here. So, and
So
I don't do drugs. So,
They might be,
And
they
we've
might
been
be
trying to
tracking
give
our
her a name.
IPs and spying on us through our webcams.
I mean, that has potential.
I mean, I've got both
Luckily,
my
you don't
shots.
have
So
you don't have yours on.
I was
So
gonna say if they look through my webcam, they'll not be too happy.
I
Putting
have-
that shit off. Right?
okay,
I
that's
have
okay.
both my 5G chips in my arms, so they can track me anywhere now.
Oh, you got both
Oh,
of them.
you've got both chips now, huh?
Yeah.
So now you're in sync with the network.
I am. I'm just waiting for China to flip the switch, and I'll
You can
become.
see all of
He's waiting for his first download.
Hey guys,
You can
I've
see
shown
all
it
of
on
over
stream.
there.
I have a copy of Mal's Red Book. Okay, I've
the
been.
first download. I'm just waiting for the update now.
Yeah, me too.
Like I was
the
telling
day one patch.
I'll tell you guys. You guys will know it'll work when I can open up my Chinese Mal Red Book and just start reading it. Be like, hey, I can read this now. Oh, finally, the 5G kicked in.
Ah, yes. That would be great
Yes,
to just
it-
study
5G
understand
allows you to
Chinese. I took Chinese for 6 years, and I remember how to say "I love you."
Hey, at least you remember that.
Hello.
Hey, at least remember something.
I'm impressed you. Yeah, you have that second language. I don't really have one yet.
What is your accent?
I learned more Dutch from just changing my phone language to Dutch than I learned in 6 years of Chinese.
Yeah, immersion helps a lot.
Yeah,
That's actually
especially because they don't teach Dutch in Chinese class.
really,
Hope not.
you really
Good.
now.
Technically could. I
Maybe
guess.
if you are Dutch and learning Chinese, they might.
Yeah,
You
Chinese. is
shouldn't be
hard.
learning Dutch in a Chinese class, Sarah.
Yeah,
If
it
you are Dutch
weird.
and you're speaking Dutch and you're learning Chinese, you might learn a little bit of like the structure of the Dutch so that you can compare it to the structure of the Chinese.
Chinese structure is very interesting. I don't remember much, but I remember when you're talking about time, you start from like the most general to the most specific.
Huh. That's cool.
Having been a TA for ESL students when I was in university because I was doing my English degree, I can tell you, teaching people English is a rough thing as well.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a
yeah,
weird
hardest language to
English is a
learn.
really stupid language.
It
Yeah,
really is.
I've heard that
I
one. a lot of
don't
times.
know how it took over the world.
I can tell you how.
Will.
Guns and colonialists.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty
Much,
British.
yeah. And horses. Horses help.
Oh, and Americans.
Yeah.
God damn Americans.
I honestly don't know if the Americans really had a lot to do with it. I think it was mostly the British.
Well, it started with the British.
America didn't really start doing anything until like World War One or two.
It's more, I'd say it's more around the economic upturn when America started becoming an economic power and overtaking Britain, because then you had the British were pushing colonialism, which you could say only went so far. It was the fact that United States then made English the language of trade. If you wanted to trade, you had to do it through America, because America's the only one that had the markets, and their markets were in English.
Yeah.
And so once you hit like the 40s and 50s, it basically funneled everyone to learn English.
God bless America.
I don't think anyone said that on the show yet. That's good.
Nation reborn. Are you sure? I think I've heard it once.
From
Oh,
who?
maybe from Panther. Oh man,
No,
Yeah.
I don't think
I think it was sarcastically.
maybe.
I can't
Oh.
believe it's Wednesday already.
this
I
is
know.
like this is my Sunday. I get Tuesday, Wednesdays off. Tomorrow is my Monday.
This is my
Oof.
Wednesday.
I definitely
Wednesday,
don't
too.
miss those days.
This is my Tuesday.
I actually don't even know if I have days anymore. They just all combine into one glob.
You have camp days.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. You know what? I was going to count the number of days until camp starts, but that's a bad idea.
That is a bad idea.
A really bad idea.
That is a
Calendars
bad
are
idea.
not my friend.
I used to
37
work
and a half.
nights.
She's a math
That
teacher.
was a ride.
Sorry.
Sorry?
I used to work nights. That was a ride.
Mm,
A few that do
Would be.
understand.
What did you work nights as?
I worked at a gas
Oh, okay.
station.
Oh,
Ooh.
quite the place to work.
Must be long.
Ooh. I used to work when I work nights at my restaurant, and I leave at like 1 or 2 in the morning because there's like a hood fan cleaning. I
Oh.
feel bad for the people at the gas station, like inside the Road King, that are still there, because nothing looks good. It's
Oh,
just,
do you work at the Road King as well?
yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's his restaurant.
Boss.
I work literally a block away from the Road King.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
Where?
I work at the Iron Mountain building.
I used to work there.
huh.
I worked there like 10 years ago.
Well, it's still there, and there's still people who work there.
Yeah,
It
I'm
was an easy job.
there's a restaurant and bar inside the Road King, and I'm the one of the owners.
Oh, you own the place. Nice. Making
Yes.
some
Just
big
made
bang.
yourself real easy to find.
It makes me wonder what the Grease Goblin has told you.
So I worked there.
Tell things? What?
That was
Yeah,
really
pretty
all I
much.
said.
Explain things.
He works there, and his friend is the owner. And I did not know that this friend was going to be you.
Well, that's nice. Let's start talking about your music. So,
Yes.
what made you like? I guess I don't want to say what made you go into techno, but what made
Did you set up all your music on your GarageBand or Bandcamp, whatever? Sorry, is that all your own music? Like not like your own, but like your own rips and spins on it.
I'm not sure I am understanding the question.
Like your Bandcamp music, I'm just listening to a number of it. Is like it's all your own kind of take on some of the different stuff. Like you put it through your own like mixing sound systems.
Yeah,
Like your
yeah.
own.
So, especially, I assume you're talking about like the remixes. So I rip
Yeah.
the vocals either from the original or I'll find the acapella, and then I'll completely rebuild the entire like instrumental part of it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I
You
noticed
have-
that the Cascada was really good too.
Does he have the quintessential song where it's like that guy who goes, "There was in the beginning, that was house music, and house music had its own groove. And from that groove came the groove of all grooves.
No, not quite yet. At least not. I haven't run into one yet. Very interesting music. Though. It's all very like the way you've explained your style, like, and your thing says like synthwave hard style. It's very interesting. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's very, very fast.
You should look up like Keygen Church or Villain Synthwave. I think you might find something you like, especially Keygen Church. Keygen Church is a mix between like Keygen music and like hard metal is the best way I could describe it. It's pretty good. Yes, the metal.
Metal.